What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. I lucked out today quite a bit because you guys will know in the last few videos that I have been complaining about how hot it is working outside in the sun. Well, today I wanted to paint the engine bay, well, not paint the engine bay, get the engine bay ready for paint and primer it, and that was going to absolutely suck in the sun because the car is outside. But we have a nice overcast day, so I'm going to be able to paint this engine bay without absolutely cooking myself. So I'm on my way to Super Cheap now to grab some primer, probably grab a newspaper as well so I can mask off a few things, a few bits and pieces here and there. And when we come back and get into it, because this weekend actually Mitchell is painting the engine bay at the Cefiro. Some exciting things are happening, and I think once the engine bay is actually painted, I feel like it's gonna feel like we've made a lot of progress on this car, because once the engine bay is painted, then the motor can go in and then we can get it running. So I've just been to Super Cheap and got my edge primer, and I went to the gas station, got a newspaper stuff right here. It was quite funny at the gas station when I went to grab the paper. I've never brought a newspaper in my entire life before, and little did I know, you don't actually have to buy a newspaper. They're free. So I grabbed it, went up to the counter and gave it to the guy, and he's like, "No, what pump did you pump from?" And I said, "Oh, you know, don't need fuel, just want the newspaper." He's like, "Oh, it's free, mate." And he started cracking up, and then I was like, "Oh, shows just how many newspapers I buy then, eh?" So I'm about to start tearing into this and getting it prepped for some primer. I've just spent probably about the last 10-15 minutes just going through and pulling out all these little clips and stuff. I also pulled the blue tag off here. Now, I was thinking about drilling out the rivets on the VIN tag here, but I think I'm actually probably just going to tape over this when we go to primer it and paint it, just because I can't be bothered drilling that out and having to retap it. Actually, now that I say that, I am going to drill it out. In the theme of keeping it nice and tidy, I may as well spend the 2 seconds to drill it out, and then we'll go to rivet it back on later. Haven't turned the lights on in here, it's probably pretty dark. I'm not sure if you guys can see me, but that's all good. Oh, that took 2 seconds, but it was pretty stuck on there, so it's kind of a little bit bent, but I'm not even sure if I'm going to put this back on. I don't really care about it being on there. It'll look better with the engine bay just all nice in one colour anyway, without a bunch of crap on the firewall there. So this bay is all ready for me to start sanding it. I'm going to chuck you guys on a bit of a time lapse while I do the first run through. But the first run through that I'm going to do is I've got this 80 grit here. So this is going to go and take a lot of it off. Now, most of the time you don't actually have to go too hard with the engine bay, but Mitchell reckons that, well, it's pretty clear through here that this engine bay at some point was actually spray painted. So we really want to get all of that off, so whatever they've used or whatever other contaminants are in this don't react with the paint or with the primer or the paint. So yeah, just going to do that real good, going over it with the real what's the opposite of fine, real coarse sandpaper. And then once we've done the first go over with that and gotten a lot of the paint and shit off, then I'll go over it with this 180 grit and smooth it out, and then we'll hit it with some primer. But yeah, like I said, I'll check you guys on a time lapse while I do the first run through of 80 grit, and then we'll check back in. So I'm making good progress on the bay, got pretty much most of it done. Tell you what, it's a lot of work. I've been at this for about 3 hours now, and my hands are so cramped. It's from getting into a lot of the tight spaces in the corners here. It's a lot of work. But I want to take these out. Yeah, I want to do this area a bit better, but also I'm not running the air conditioning unit or the heater core, so I can take both of those out. So I've got to go behind the dash here. We can take the airbox out, aircon unit, whatever. A few bolts, they should come out. My hands are so cramped. I'm a muppet. I realised I was using a 10mm. I have a 10mm for my electric ratchet. Fuck, I am shattered, and this is probably only like 4 or 5 minutes into the video, but this is like 4 or 5 hours into sanding. So I have gone all out on this thing, and it has come up pretty good. So she is pretty much ready for primer now. So I went over the whole thing with sandpaper, got it right down. Initially I was actually going to do 2 lots of sandpaper. I have no idea why I was planning on doing that. I didn't even do that with the Sylvia. So I just went over with 80 grit and got the bay looking pretty much how you see it. And then I just quickly went over the whole thing again with Scotch-Brite, and mainly just used the Scotch-Brite to get into some tighter areas that was a little bit harder with the sandpaper, and basically just, yeah, scuff the whole thing, and it's now ready to mask off the car and start primering. So got a bunch of holes in the firewall, around here, all over. Bunch of masking to do, but once that's done, then we can lace down some primer, and then I'm done for the day. So I've pretty much finished doing all of the little holes and stuff. Just got Mike to come and help me film a little bit while I plug up the last couple of holes. It's such annoying having to plug all these tiny ass ones up, but I'd rather not get primer on all my nice suspension parts. You know, I guarantee someone's going to comment about how much extra tape I'm using.
Global shortage on tape.
Fucking A. Shortage on everything at the moment. Fucking supply chain crisis.
So you can see there's a global shortage on potatoes, and McDonald's is like fearing they can't supply enough for their fries or something.
That's all.
Yeah.
Fuck. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you hear that? You want your McDonald's fries, you better get in quick.
Fuck, straight as. Woo.
Fucking wind. Drew chucks the tape which is down there. Jeez.
Well, this is awfully professional for a track car, mate.
Mate, this ain't no fucking patchet job. I love your patchet, but you half-ass shit, let's be honest. Wait, which hole did you say that need to plug up?
Oh, this one here, yeah. So you'll get a fair bit of fucking overspray out of there.
I mean, I'm gonna get a bit out of here too. No, it's alright. I'm gonna cut that up. My intercooler's not coming out of this hole, it's gonna come out of the top. Because I'm running all of the intercooler piping that was on the 14, and it went through there. Oh fuck, do you have any more tape? Chirp.
I'll have to be surprised on your video for you.
Oh, did you?
So
Just something that these guys have already seen. Well, I mean, I would have seen it by the time it goes up, but
yeah, no.
I'm gonna have to wait till I edit to find out.
Yeah, no, it's not something that you're gonna post.
Oh.
But I'm sure you'll appreciate it when you see it.
Well, guys, you let your minds wander. Let your minds wonder what this could be. Oh, hey there. I'm gonna take a quick pic for the gram. You guys don't follow me, you should. Link in description.
Is it gonna be there?
It always is. You know, this isn't one of the ones where I'm gonna say it's gonna be there and it's not, because it's automatically just there. How does this spray? I must say, by far the best primer I've ever used. I usually get cheap shit. I spent a little bit more to get this stuff and it's fucking worth it. Like, every other primer I've had, after you spray for like a few minutes, it just starts like blowing bubbles out. And this shit's just continuing to spray nice, which is good.
It's starting to look like a proper Christchurch RB, yeah.
What, rattle can?
Just primed.
Yeah, true actually. Why was that such a thing with RBs? Like,
Literally couldn't tell
the
you.
last 15 years.
No idea.
Like, so many RBs were literally sanded, primed, and just left at that.
Yeah.
Why? What was that the intention, or they just not get round to painting it?
Well, you'd think it was the intention, because like most of the money would be like in the prep work.
I think the money's in the paint, the time's in the prep work.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're paying someone to, well, yeah, most of them went.
Mate, it's
done.
RBs, they all did it themselves, that's why they're all fucking hoary.
Yeah. Not us though, eh?
Oh, I don't know about that. I try not to be hoary. I'm better than I used to be. Did you fucking see that? I am finally done for the day. I have just gone over it a second time, so Bay has now got 2 coats of primer on it. I laid the first coat down reasonably thin and let it dry, and then the second coat I laid it down pretty thick and heavy, and this is looking good. So yeah, it is now all ready to be painted. So it is currently Tuesday. This thing, I'm so tired I can't even speak. This thing is getting painted on Saturday. So we will tow this to Mitchell's work, and what we'll probably do is we'll get it into the booth and jack it up, put it on jack stands, drop the subframe out of it, and then we will go over the whole engine bay with Scotch-Brite. See, this is how tired I am, knackered I am. Words aren't coming to my head. Scotch-Brite. We're going to use Scotch-Brite on this to just scuff up the whole surface again before we lay down the paint. And you guys have already seen the paint. I will grab it again for those who haven't seen. So yep, this is the paint that we're going to be going with. It's a nice purple. Shine a light on it. If you guys can, I don't know how well the camera is going to be able to see it, but yeah, there's a bit of sparkle in there. So I'm super, super excited for this engine bay to get painted this weekend. Bring it on. Bring it on. This thing deserves to look good. I've owned this car for I've owned this car for nearly 3 years. And when I first brought it, I immediately ripped the motor out of it to initially put into the track car, but that motor ended up in my other Cefiro. A lot of you will remember that was on my channel for a while. Ended up blowing a head gasket in that. I've actually still got that motor. It's in pieces. But yeah, once I pulled the motor out of this car, it literally just sat the entire time. Been pretty neglected. I robbed all the 5-star, all the big brake suspension off it. Literally everything that was good off of this, I robbed, and I was very close to parting this out completely a couple times. So glad I didn't, because now look at it. It's getting a glow up. So yeah, that'll be it for this one, guys. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be. This was my last day that I had of good weather this week, so I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do outside. On this, I did initially want to put the motor in it so I can mock it up, because I've got to cut a big hole here for the intercooler, and I'm probably going to have to cut another one here because I don't think that one is going to be where I need it to be. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that before it gets painted, so I'm going to have to get Mitch to give me some touch-up stuff, so when I do cut the holes I can just put a little bit of paint on it so it's nice. But I don't know, you might see some content with this for the next couple of videos, just because like I said, it's going to be raining and can't really do much outside if it's raining. So yeah, anyway, that'll be it for this one, guys. Cheers for watching. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.